from home in your pajamas. Just type in yes inside the chat box right now. Okay, that's you just typing yes. Okay, a lot of yeses. Yes. Okay, some of you like stretching the yes. Okay, for those of you who didn't type in yes, you mean you prefer to do it without the pajamas and do it naked? Okay, hopefully not, right? Now, the next thing is there's a freedom to work from home or anywhere. Now, this is ever so important, especially during a pandemic like this, where so many of us are.
What the F? Sisimula na pero 8 PM pa naman dapat eh. Susunod.
Most of you here are already aware of the benefits, all right? So as mentioned, more importantly, let's take a look at some of the statistics. So over here, it shows here how COVID-19 is transforming e-commerce. And you may or may not know this, but worldwide, globally, online e-commerce sales are shooting through the roof as people are forced to buy online due to structural changes in consumer behavior and social norms. In fact, throughout this 2 hours presentation, I'll be sharing with you a lot of different statistics and data. Because, by the way, I'm actually a very logical and analytical person. In fact, I always believe that as a smart entrepreneur, you want to be able to make decisions based on data instead of your own opinions or based on hearsay and gossip. Okay, so I'll be sharing you a lot of statistics. So check this out. This one over here says US retailers online year-on-year revenue growth is up 68%, and it's been 129% year-over-year growth in the US. As you can see, it's not just pandemic-proof. In fact, online e-commerce sales, it spikes because of a pandemic like COVID-19 as people change their buying habits and behaviors, which really makes me even more excited to share this presentation with you. All right, so right now, enough talking about the benefits. I believe most of you should be aware, but more importantly, let's take a look at how can we make these benefits become a reality for you, and how can you take advantage of these benefits. In fact, right now, just type in the one word called reality. Okay, just type in reality inside the chat box. This is a more important thing. How do you make these benefits become a reality for you? All right, so right now, I'm going to dive straight into the 3 simple ways that anyone can use to make money online using the power. Please continue to keep participating. Okay, you guys are really, really awesome, by the way. Okay, now method number one is you could promote someone else's product as an affiliate. So this means to say you do not have to actually create these products yourselves. Instead, what you do is you just go online, find other people's products, other brands, other websites, and you promote these products as an affiliate in return for commission. So right now, let me just give you a very quick overview first, and later on I'm going to elaborate. Now, method number 2, you could sell a digital product. Okay, this main word is called digital. So this means to say you don't sell physical products. Physical products means products that you can actually touch and feel. Instead, you sell products that can be downloaded digitally on the internet. I'm going to elaborate more on that. And then finally, the third method that you can use to make money online is you sell a physical product. Okay, physical product. So this is otherwise commonly known as e-commerce. Okay, otherwise known as e-commerce. Now, here's the thing. Over the past 10 years, we have literally made millions and millions of dollars from each of these 3 methods. Okay, but today, just bear in mind one thing. Our main focus for today will be on method number 3, because right now, there's truly an unprecedented opportunity where e-commerce is booming. Okay, so just bear in mind, the bulk of today's presentation will be on method number 3, selling your own, which is selling your own physical products. Okay, if you're getting this so far, just type in yes inside the chat box. Okay, once again, you're getting this so far, just make sure that all of you are following along fine. Okay, great, excellent. So let's move on. So here's method number 1. Okay, so method number 1 is you could promote someone else's products, okay, as an affiliate in return for commissions. Now, this is otherwise known as affiliate marketing. Okay, in fact, right now, just type inside the chat box this one word called affiliate. Okay, okay, just type in this one word called affiliate. Okay, great. Now, just in case for whatever reason you're not able to hear me clear, the volume is soft, you have to check the settings on your laptop because we did a sound check right at the start. Everybody could hear fine. Okay, now, anyway, this method, affiliate marketing, this is exactly how Patricia and myself got started with making money online over 12 to 13 years ago, and we continue to do so even up to today. So what this means is you simply find a website or a brand or a product or service online, okay, and it should be something that is popular, proven to sell well. And what you do is you simply sign up for their referral program. Okay, most of the time it's completely free. And once you do that, you'll be given a referral link, and you just need to promote the referral link. And what happens is whenever you generate a sale, you earn a commission. So this is known as affiliate marketing. Now, here's the thing. Back then when we first started, it wasn't that common. But today, almost every single big brand or website on the internet these days, they actually have an affiliate program. Okay, I'm talking about companies like Airbnb, Nike, Amazon, Lazada, Sony, Adidas, all these different big brands, they all have a referral program that you can just promote in return for commissions. Okay, so that was how we got started, as mentioned to you. We made a lot of money using this method. So we discovered, so along the way, we realized that there's different benefits of affiliate marketing. Now, number one, the good thing is you don't need to create your own products. So let's say you don't want to put in the effort to create your own products. It doesn't matter. Just go out there, promote another big brand, another popular website. And all you need to do is you just need to promote. The company takes care of all the product creation, the fulfillment, the delivery, and the customer support. So you yourself, you don't need to take on all the different challenges, okay? And second thing, a second big benefit is you don't need to deal with customers. This is a big one. So you don't have to take on all the headache and stress that normally comes with running a full business, okay? So these are all the different benefits. Now, here's the thing. At the same time, over the years, we also start to realize that there are certain disadvantages of affiliate marketing. Number one, if you really think about this, you're not really creating anything for yourself. You're not really building something of your own because you're just promoting someone else's products. Number two, you actually have very, very little control. So which means to say your income is solely dependent on other brands and other websites. You have very little control about things like how the website looks, the pricing, the products itself. And number three, which is the biggest disadvantage, which is you can't really scale it that big because at the end of the day, you're always limited by the number and quality of the affiliate products that you're promoting. Okay, so first of all, if you're getting this so far, just type in yes inside the chat box right now. Okay, getting this so far, just type in yes inside the chat box. Okay, great. Thank you so much. Right? So that is how over the years, now even though we still continue to make money using affiliate marketing, but over the years, we slowly transitioned to method number two, which is to sell your own digital information products, okay, by sharing your own passions and knowledge. Now, by digital, I'm simply referring to things that is not physical, which means that you can't really touch and feel it. For example, digital products, they are products that can be downloaded digitally over the internet. Examples could be ebooks, audios, apps, video training courses, online memberships, group coaching, etc. Online group coaching, etc. Now, this is also one of our favorite methods, okay, because it's something that we've been doing for more than 10 years now. We continue to make money using this method. Let me share with you some of the benefits of selling your own digital information products. Now, number one, there's a big benefit, and that is very, very high margin. So what I mean by this means to say, think about this, for digital products, you just need to create it once, okay, just need to create it once, and you can earn from it over and over again. For every single copy of the digital product that you sell, there is no additional production cost, there's no cost of goods, right? So the margins are very, very high. Number two, big benefit is the whole process can be fully automated because everything takes place fully online. You don't even have to deal with all the fulfillment, delivery, because everything can be fully automated, saves you a lot of time. Now, so as mentioned, we love this method. However, at the same time, over the years, we also started to realize that there's actually several disadvantages of selling your own digital information products. Number one, there's tons of information online these days. Okay, so in fact, right now, just type in information. This word called information inside the chat box. You just type in information inside the chat box. These days, there's tons of information online these days. So which means to say, because of that, it actually lowers the overall perceived value of digital information products. And because of that, you can't really charge that high a pricing for it. And then finally, which is the biggest disadvantage, and that is the overall potential of digital information products, overall potential is actually capped. Because you think about this logically, the reason is because demand for physical products, will always far outweigh digital products. The reason is because every single person, we need to buy physical products in order to survive, in order to live, but not everyone would buy digital information products. Okay, so once again, if you're getting this so far, just type in yes inside the chat box. All right, if you're getting this so far, just type in yes inside the chat box. Okay, great, excellent. Okay, so please keep the participation going on. Okay, my team is closely monitoring the chat box. Once again, make sure you change it to all panelists and attendees. I know it sounds like a broken record. I just want to make sure that all of you are in the running for the most positive and participative award. Okay, now. So which is why, once again, even though we still continue to make money using method number 2, but over the years, that's how we also slowly transition to method number 3, which is to sell your own physical products. Now, this is otherwise known as e-commerce. Now, as mentioned to you, this is going to form the bulk of today's presentation. This is what we're going to spend most of today talking about. In fact, right now, just type in this one word called e-commerce. Just type in e-commerce, 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 e-commerce. Okay, excellent. Awesome. Okay, so that's it. Let me just dive straight in. Now, first of all, let me share with you some of the big benefits of selling your own physical products. Number one, if you sell it on your own store, do know that you actually have full control. Okay, so because you can control how your store looks like, what's the process that people see, the pricing, all these different things. Okay, so this is something that we'll elaborate later on. Number two, you get to build your own brand because you're selling it on your own store. You get to build your own brand, and these are all things contribute to you being able to build your own assets. Assets refers to things that you own that can appreciate in value. Number four, big benefit is everybody buys physical products. How many of you agree that you need to buy physical products in order for you to survive? Just type in yes inside the chat box. Yes, we all need to, right? And finally, the last benefit is the market potential is huge. It's huge. As you can see, I kept huge and exclamation mark. I'm going to share with you what do I mean by that. Okay, thank you so much for reiterating huge. Okay, so as mentioned to you, I'm going to share with you several statistics and data. So check this out. Now, this graph over here, it shows you the retail e-commerce sales worldwide. Now check this out. In the year 2014, which is like 6 years ago, it was at 1.3 trillion US dollars. Now right now, quickly just type in how many zeros does $1 trillion have? And do not Google, please. Okay, just make a guess. How many zeros does $1 trillion have? Just type inside the chat box. Okay, a lot of you type in 9. Okay, 9, 9, 9, 12. The answer is actually 12. Okay, which is a lot of zeros.
No. Small bus. Send. Umuti, nawawala yung net.
These statistics was taken before COVID-19 happened. right now, I want you to check out the second graph. Now, this one shows you the US e-commerce penetration percentage. So this means to say, if you actually combine online retail and offline retail, you combine it together, what is the percentage that e-commerce and online retail actually represents? So check this out. In the year 2009, it was only at 5.6% of overall retail sales, which is not a lot. But in 10 years' time, by the year 2019, it grew from 5.6% to 16%, which is a 10% absolute growth. But here's the thing. This graph, you look at the rightmost hand side, it shows you that in just 8 weeks, in just 2 months, e-commerce penetration has now grown from 16% to 27%, which is an 11% increment, which means to say in just 8 weeks, it has now penetrated more US retail sales than the past 10 years of consistent growth. Now, how many of you think that's pretty awesome? If you think that's pretty awesome, just type in awesome inside the chat box. Okay, just type in awesome inside the chat box. Okay, thank you. All the awesomes are coming in. Okay, this is simply mind-blowing. So which is why, as I mentioned at the start, you see, what I realized in business is the smartest and most successful entrepreneurs, they rely on data and statistics to make decisions, whereas the average person, the average struggling entrepreneur out there, you rely on their own opinions, on hearsay, gossip, what they think to make decisions. Okay? In fact, how many of you here think this trend is going to continue to increase or decrease? Just type inside the chat box. Do you think it's going to continue to increase or decrease? Exactly. Some of you type in increase. Exactly. This is going to continue to increase, and this trend is not going to stop, not going to slow down. Okay? Because once again, this whole pandemic has changed our entire buying behaviors. Whichever country you are located at is happening globally. It doesn't matter you are from Malaysia, from Hong Kong, from Philippines, from Indonesia, from Vietnam. It doesn't matter, or Singapore, which part of the world you're in. Okay. Now, with that said, but think about this. At the same time, let's say you're thinking of selling your own physical products. Now, at the same time, there are also indeed certain challenges that you might face if you were to sell your own physical products the traditional way. Okay, so think about this. Yeah, there's several disadvantages of selling your own physical products the traditional way. So first of all, number one is think about this. If you want to sell e-commerce products the traditional way, you have to fork out a huge amount of capital to buy this thing called inventory, right? And you have to keep stock of inventory, you have to have a storage space, you have to deal with the logistics, the shipping, the fulfillment. So there are different disadvantages of selling it the traditional way. And in fact, what happens if you are not able to sell the stock? You could end up incurring a lot of losses. Okay, so in fact, there's also one big mistake that many e-commerce entrepreneurs make when trying to start an e-commerce business. And that is, they immediately think of selling on this very popular place called a marketplace. Okay, in fact, right now, just type inside the chat box this one word called marketplace, 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 all right? Exactly, marketplace. So what are marketplaces, right? So marketplaces refers to websites where when you go onto the website, there's like many different merchants and sellers on the marketplace. For example, popular ones include Amazon, eBay, and depending on which country you are in, Shopee, Lazada, Carousel, Qoo10. Okay, I'm sure all of you here have shopped at a marketplace, online marketplace, in your life before. Okay, but here's the next question. Now, how many sellers are there on a marketplace? Now, let's just use Amazon as an example. Now, how many sellers are there on Amazon? Once again, don't Google. Let's type inside. How many sellers do you think are there on Amazon? A lot of you say way too many. Multi-millions. Many, too many. Thousands? No, not thousands, definitely. Oh, 200 million. That's a bit too much. Okay. Now, the answer is 2.5 million active sellers on Amazon. Now, if you count the inactive sellers, it's actually a lot more. It's close to like 8 to 9 million sellers on Amazon, which is a lot, right? It's insane. Can you imagine the amount of competition you have if you're selling things on Amazon? Now, on the other hand, think about this. If you are selling things on your own store, okay, everyone just point to yourself and say, my own store. Think about this. If you're selling things on your own e-commerce store, this time round, how many sellers are there on your own e-commerce store? Just type inside the chat box right now. Okay. If it's your own store, how many sellers are there? Okay, great. Most of you are getting this, and that is actually there's just one. And who's the seller? It's yourself. Okay, so which means to say, the number one mistake that a lot of people make when trying to get started with e-commerce is they immediately think of selling on marketplaces. And the moment they do that, they lose and they lack control. I'm going to share with you why this is so important if you want to succeed in business. In fact, right now, just type in this one word called control inside your chat box right now. Okay, just type in this one word called control. Control. Exactly. All right, excellent. Now, control is very, very important. It doesn't matter which business you're trying to start, whether it's an offline business, online business. The most successful entrepreneurs understand that they need to have full control over their business. Now, let me share with you what I mean by this. Now, there are several types of control that you immediately lose when you sell things on the marketplace. The first type of control is called price control. Price control. Right now, just type inside the chat box. These two words called price control. Just type inside price control, price control, price control, price control. Okay, so what I mean by this now, price control simply refers to having the ability to charge whatever price you like because you're not facing an immense amount of competition, and you do not have to engage in this thing called a price war. So let me give you an example. So let's say today you're thinking of selling things on Amazon, for example. So think about this. When you go to Amazon, and let's say you're searching for a diaper bag, okay? And let's say you see something that looks like this. But at the same time, you realize every time when you shop on a marketplace like Amazon, the moment you try to scroll down, you will notice that there are tons of similar options that Amazon actually recommends to you. So think about this. From a buyer point of view, naturally, what will you do when you see so many different similar options? What will you do? Just type inside the chat box. What will you do as a normal, logical buyer? Exactly. Most of the time, you will choose to compare the price, and most of the time, you will try to find the cheapest price. That's what most people do. But now, think from a seller point of view, okay? From a seller point of view, this would mean to say most marketplace sellers are forced to really lower their price because of the fact that there's so much competition, so many other merchants selling the same products, and they are forced to engage in a price war. And oftentimes when people sell things on a marketplace like Amazon, their margins are completely wiped out and it's not sustainable in the long run. Okay, so once again, if you're getting this so far, just type in yes inside the chat box right now. Okay, just type in yes inside the chat box. Okay, great. Now, here's the second type of control that you immediately lose, and it's called brand control. Okay, it's called brand control. In fact, right now, just type inside the chat box these two words called brand control. Okay, just type in brand control, brand control, brand control. So what I mean by this? Now, this means to say you're not really able to build a sustainable brand and have brand and customer loyalty, which allows you to get repeat customers and charge higher prices when you sell things on a marketplace like Amazon. Because think about this, when you sell things on a marketplace, and when your entire e-commerce business is built on a marketplace, think about this logically. Whose brand are you actually trying to build? And where is this customer and brand loyalty actually built on? It's actually on the marketplace itself. So for example, when you sell things on Amazon, as you can see over here, Amazon's branding is always emphasized so much more as compared to the actual merchant's brand. And in fact, a lot of times when people buy things on the marketplace, they might not even remember which brand did they purchase from. They only remember the marketplace name that they bought from, right? So if you're, once again, if you're getting this so far, just type in yes inside the chat box. I can see a lot of you agreeing with this. Exactly, right? So the moment you sell things on the marketplace, a lot of times you lose brand control, okay? Now, there's one more type of control mistake which I'm going to share with you later on. Okay, the reason is because as we go through the 5-step system later on, it will become much clearer and it'll be easier for me to review this in just a while. In fact, the cool part about a 5-step system is it actually eliminates all of these control mistakes that I just shared with you. Okay, that's the beauty of our 5-step system. It eliminates all these different control mistakes. Okay, now, so right now I'm going to dive straight into our 5-step system to e-commerce success. And the reason why this is so important is because you can't just anyhow trial and error if you really want to get results much faster. Okay, and in fact, if you want to get results much faster, you need to have a system. In fact, right now, just type in this one word called system. Just type in system inside the chat box right now. Okay, in fact, one of my first business mentors shared this with me and said this, Calvin, if in your business, if you don't have a system, you don't have a business, because a system makes your results repeatable, predictable, and sustainable. Okay, so this is the same 5-step system that we use in our e-commerce business day in and day out for the past several years. And this is the exact system that we teach to our mentorship students inside our mentorship programs as well. Now, in fact, with the 5-step system that we use, that I'm going to share with you in just a while, we are able to get consistent results like this for ourselves, month after month after month after month, because of the fact that we have a system. As you can see over here from the screenshot, from this one e-commerce store, we generated over $87,000 in just 1 month. This one we generated over $93,000 from just 1 month. And this one we generated over $178,000 from one e-commerce store from just 1 month. Now, in fact, how many of you here would love to have these results for yourself? Just type in me inside the chat box right now. Just type in me inside the chat box. Okay, once again, this is only possible because of the fact that we have a system. Now, the thing is, we didn't just use this system to generate results for ourselves. We also taught this system to a lot of our different mentorship students, and they are also able to get wonderful results for themselves as well. In fact, let me just give you a quick 30-second overview of our entire e-com mastery workshop. Now, we do have a 3-day live workshop where we conduct and teach people who want to start their own e-commerce online business from scratch. Now, we share with them what to click, how to click step by step till they're able to master the skill sets needed for them to set up their own e-commerce business and be able to profit from it. Now, so our students, they spend 3 full days with us, and what we do is, this was before COVID-19, of course. It's a live, a physical workshop, a hands-on workshop. They set up their own e-commerce business on the spot along with us. Now, we get results like this almost every week from students that we mentor the 5-step system on, that make sales in a short period of time after learning this. For example, one of the students, his name is Ken, generated over $1,000 per day. Many of our students will manage to generate sales pretty quickly after attending a workshop. This one generated $700 in 3 weeks, 2 sales within 12 hours, and even huge amounts from just 1 order. In fact, one of the students, his name is Jeff, and he says here, before I knew Calvin, Patricia, and Max, I made $200 in 6 months on my internet business, trying alone on my own. Now, after knowing them and with their mentoring and system, I turned that business into making $20,000 in just 14 days. Now, the reason why I'm sharing this with you is because that's really the power of having a system and having the right mentors to guide you. And in fact, just in case you're wondering, where are some of the countries that we conduct this live workshop in? We conduct in Singapore, Hong Kong, in countries like Thailand, countries like United States of America, even all the way in Switzerland. Okay, so with that said, just in case you're wondering right now, how can you enroll into this workshop? Just to let you know up front, there is a certain criteria that we are looking for. So I share more about the criteria later on for those of you who are interested. And for those of you who qualify, I'll share more details later on. But right now, my goal right now is really to give as much value as I can to you and ensure that you have a very, very solid foundation of this 5-step system. Okay, in fact, right now, if you're excited, just type in excited right now and we'll dive straight in right now. Okay, great, excellent. Okay, so right now, let me just dive straight in. So with that said, let me move on to the first step, okay, of the 5-step system. Okay, so right now, the first step is research products. Okay, research products. Okay, so which means to say the first step towards starting Your own e-commerce business is knowing what to sell. Okay, in fact, right now, what I want you to do is just type in this one word called research. Okay, just type in this one word called research. Okay, so why is this important? Is because a lot of times one of the biggest mistakes that a lot of people make is when they think of selling things online, they immediately think of selling things that they're passionate about. So which means to say, if someone is passionate about fashion, they think of selling fashion-related products. If they're passionate about tech gadgets, they sell tech gadgets. Okay, but the thing is, you don't want to sell products just because you're passionate about them. Instead, you want to sell products based on research. So which means to say, what you really want to do out there is go out there and research what are people out there actually buying, what is in high demand, and then you want to sell products to this group of people because you want to go where the money is. Okay, you want to go where the money is. Now, of course, there are many different techniques that you can use to identify products that are in high demand, which we share more in our Ecom Mastery program. But let me share with you one very, very quick and simple method that you can use immediately later on tonight, and it's actually using a free website service, and it's using this free website called Google Trends. Okay, Google Trends. In fact, right now, just type inside chat box. There's two words called Google Trends. Google Trends. Google Trends. Google Trends. Excellent. Google Trends. Okay, great. Okay, so I see a lot of you here, participating, which is really, really awesome. Okay. Okay, awesome, excellent. So let me just quickly share with you what is Google Trends about. Now, in fact, the thing is, if you have actually used Google Trends before, okay, if you've used Google Trends before, just type in yes inside the chat box. If you've never used Google Trends before, just type in no inside the chat box right now, okay? Just want to see how many of you here have used Google Trends. Okay, most of you have not. That's fine. Some of you here, yes. Okay, great. Not to worry. But please do not go there now. Right now, pay attention. Go there later on after this presentation. Okay, so let me explain to you what is Google Trends all about. Now, Google Trends, as the name suggests, is a website service provided by Google. So what happens is Google being Google, they have all the data in the world. And what happens is when you go to Google Trends, you type in any search phrase, any keyword, Google shows you the level of interest for that particular search phrase, and it shows you how it fluctuates over time. In fact, let me share with you an example. So right now, let's say you go to Google Trends. By the way, yes, as mentioned, do not go there now. Do not multitask. Pay attention. When you go to Google Trends, and let's just say you type in this search phrase called Galaxy Rose. Okay, so what is Galaxy Rose? It's a product. Let me share with you how does a product look like. It looks something like this. Okay, shape of a rose, right? So what happens is when you go to Google Trends, you search for this search term called Galaxy Rose, and you can search it, specify according to like which period of time, and you can specify which country, in this case worldwide. And as you can see right now, just pay attention to the graph. You can see that there's a spike in interest for this particular product in the months of January and February, and then it goes down, right? So right now, I want you to make a guess. This spike in interest is due to what special occasion? Just type inside the chat box right now. Okay, I see a lot of answers. A lot of you are typing in Valentine's Day. Exactly. Okay. And you're spot on. In fact, mostly are the ladies who got it right. Okay, so which means to say, obviously, if you're a smart entrepreneur, you would want to sell this product in the months of January and February, or you can start planning for it even slightly earlier. So which means to say, this is a big learning lesson. Regardless of what product you want to sell, once again, do not use your own opinion to make decisions. Instead, make use of data. And obviously, you want to try to sell products that are on an upward trend. Everyone type in upward. Okay, upward. You want to sell products that are in an upward trend instead of selling products on a downward trend. Okay, now, if a product is consistently high, the trend is consistently high, that's fine. But just make sure you try to avoid selling products on an upward trend. Okay, so that's what you want to be constantly be mindful of. Let me show you another example. Now, the second product is this product called a paint roller. Now, as the name suggests, it's just a roller that allows you to paint your walls. Okay, I'm not sure how it's like in your countries, whether it's whichever country you're coming from, Malaysia, Hong Kong, Philippines, or Indonesia, or Vietnam, for example, or Thailand. But in Singapore, we don't have a very strong DIY culture, do-it-yourself culture. Okay, so most people in Singapore, we don't paint our own walls. But in the Western countries, or even like in US, for example, this can be actually very, very popular. And in fact, if you can see from this graph, now demand for this product, you can see the interest for this product, it spiked in the months of, starting around in the month of March. Right now, I want you to make a guess. Is due to what special occasion? Right now, just type inside the chat box. Due to what special occasion? You can see there's a significant increase. Okay. A lot of you type in spring, school holiday. Some of you, yes, mentioned COVID-19, lockdowns, and once again, I think, okay, of course my opinion doesn't matter, but it's the data that matters. But my guess is, yes, it could be due to the fact that there's lockdowns happening, a lot of time, people spending more time at home. They want to kind of like decorate their houses, okay, to pass time. But more importantly, make use of data to make smart decisions. So which means that this is a great product to be selling at this point in time, which is exactly what we did. Okay, so as you can see, from just selling this one product, this paint roller alone, we generated over 96,000 US dollars just from selling this one product. In fact, how many of you that think that's pretty cool? Just type in cool inside the chat box right now. Just type in cool. And bear in mind, this is just from one product. Okay, so but once again, using Google Trends and also other different product research techniques that we share more inside our 3 days workshop, that's how you're able to find in-demand products that you can sell on your store. Okay, so with that said, right now we're going to move on to step number 2, which is setup store. In fact, right now, just type in these 2 words called setup store. Okay, just type inside the chat box right now, these 2 words called setup store, setup store. Setup store. Okay, great. Setup store. So what I mean by this, now think about this. It's easy to say setup store, but in an offline world, if you just think about this logically, to set up an offline retail store, is it offline? Okay, I'm talking about you set up an offline retail store. Is it expensive or is it cheap? Expensive or cheap? Type inside the chat box. If it's offline, is it expensive or cheap? Yes, the answer offline. Some of you say cheap. Are you kidding me? Offline retail. Okay, maybe in some of your countries it's cheap, but you know, in countries like Singapore, in Hong Kong, I believe, and many countries, even in Bangkok, it's very, very expensive. Okay, but the good news is to set up an online e-commerce store, it is way more affordable. And the good news is, when it's online, you can easily set up multiple e-commerce stores, okay, for very affordable rates, and that's exactly what we do in our business, okay. Now, just in case you're thinking to yourself, what, Kelvin, set up my own e-commerce store, but I have very, very little technical skills, or you're thinking to yourself, I don't know any coding, how am I going to do that, all right? So right now, if you have very, very little technical skills, or you don't know any coding or programming, just type in "don't worry" inside the chat box. Okay, just type in "don't worry" inside the chat box. Okay, don't worry. Yes, don't worry. Exactly. Come on, be more encouraging. Exactly. Don't worry, be happy. Okay, so why don't worry? The reason is because with technology these days, you can create a fully functional e-commerce store that you own, fully own, even if you have zero technical skills, once we share with you how to do so. In fact, that's exactly what we teach our students to do so during our 3 days e-com mastery workshop. Now, the next question is, a lot of times people might always ask this, and that is, why should you set up your own e-commerce store when you can just sell things on a marketplace, like all the different platforms out there, like Amazon, eBay, Shopee, Lazada, for example. Now, I already shared with you 2 reasons earlier on why you don't want to do that. Instead, you want to set up your own store. Apart from price control, apart from wanting to have brand control, there's one last control that you really need to have, and it's called database control. Okay, it's called database control. In fact, right now, just type inside the chat box, there's 2 words called database control. Database control. Database control. Exactly. Okay, database control. Thank you so much. Now, so what I mean by this, okay, so this means to say, just in case you're wondering what exactly is a database, a customer's database simply refers to your full customer's contact details. So, for example, it could be their email address, it could be their physical mailing address, it could be their phone number, all this different information. So a lot of times people do not know this, but when you sell things on the marketplace, you don't actually own all of this information. Instead, who owns it? Is actually the marketplace itself. Okay, you don't own all this information. Most of the time, you don't even get access to things like your email address, for example. Okay, so you're not really building your own customers database. So, which is why that's the reason why we don't recommend that you just sell things on the marketplace. Instead, you want to build your own store, so you'll be able to build your own customers database. And in fact, let me share with you why this is so powerful. So think about this. Now just imagine if today you have 1,000 customers inside your database, okay? And let's just say every month you send out a few sales promotions. For example, you can email this customers, and let's just say only 5% of them buy from you again. And let's just say you sell $100 item. So 5% of 1,000 is 50 people multiplied by $100. That's an additional $5,000 in additional income for you without any additional advertising cost, because that's the beauty of sending out email promotions, and that is it doesn't cost you any money. In fact, how many of you would love to be able to send out an email promotion and generate tons of sales just like this? Just type in yes inside the chat box. Okay? Just type in yes inside the chat box. Exactly. So imagine if you have a bigger database, every time you send out an email promotion, you'll be making a lot more money as well. Okay, so that's the reason why there's the power of having your own database. Let me share with you another big power of having and building your own customers database. Okay, so right now on the screen, you can see that there are two brands inside the screen right now. I want you to just type inside, what are the two companies that you see on the screen right now? Okay, just type inside the chat box right now. Okay, exactly. It is Facebook and WhatsApp. So why am I sharing this with you? Because as you can see from the image here, it shows you that it's like Pac-Man. Facebook, it actually ate up WhatsApp, which means that it acquired WhatsApp. But right now, here's a trivia question. Don't Google the answer. Make a guess. How much did Facebook pay to actually buy over WhatsApp in the year 2013? Just make a guess inside the chat box. How much did Facebook pay to acquire WhatsApp? Just type inside the chat box right now. Come on. Okay, just make a guess. Doesn't matter. Some of you say 50 million, 10 million, 2 billion. Some of you say 100 million. Okay, good guesses. The answer is 19 billion US dollars. Okay, is that a lot of money? Yes, there's a lot of money. Now, these days we actually invest in businesses. So naturally, when we, one of the first things that when you invest in a business, one of the first few things that you look at is the profit and loss statement. So which means that you want to find out how much money is that company generating. So I actually pulled out the P&L statement of WhatsApp in the year 2030. Now, as you can see over here, WhatsApp's revenue in the year 2030 was actually 10.2 billion with an M, just $10.2 million. That's how little it is. But just not the most shocking thing. The most shocking thing is, at that year, it was actually generating a net loss. It was making a loss of over 138 million US dollars. Isn't it crazy? So the next question is, why did Facebook pay 19 billion with a B US dollars to buy over WhatsApp? That is a severely loss-making company. Why? Just type inside the chat box. Why? What's the reason why? Just type in the reason why, not type in why, but type in the reason why. And the reason is because, yes, they bought it for its database. Exactly. So why am I sharing this with you is because I want you to understand one thing, and that is your customer's database is one of the biggest assets that you can build for yourself. Okay, just type in this one word called assets. Okay, one of the biggest assets you can build for yourself, because first of all, what's an asset? Asset is something that you own. It needs to be something that you own fully, that has the ability to produce an income for you over time, because once you build an asset for yourself, and over time as it appreciates in value, you can even choose to sell it off for a big payday. So the smartest entrepreneurs in the world, they always focus on building assets for their business, because that's the fastest way to build long-term sustainable income. Okay, so if you're getting this so far, just type in yes inside the chat box right now. Once again, just to make sure that all of you are following fine before I should move on. Just type in yes inside the chat box. Okay, great. Please continue to participate. All of you have been so wonderful and participative. Okay, exactly. All right, so please keep the energy going on. Now, with that said, let me move on to step number 3 and do a quick recap so far. So we covered step number 1, which is to research products. After you research products, we move on to step number 2, which is to set up your own store. And once you set up your own store, the next thing that you need is this thing called traffic. Right now, just type in traffic inside the chat box right now. Okay, just type in traffic inside the chat box right now. And let me explain to you what I mean by this. Now, in fact, this is one of the biggest challenges that most people face when they try to sell anything online. Okay, see, a lot of times people have great products. Maybe they have a very nice looking store, but the truth is, you can have the best products in the world, you can have the nicest looking store in the world, but if no one ever visits your store, if you don't know how to find customers, you're not going to make any money. And very many of you here, understand what I'm talking about as to how important customers and traffic is. Okay, if you're getting this, you understand the importance, just type in yes inside the chat box. Now, first of all, what is traffic? Now, in the offline world, let's just use an example. Okay, basically traffic refers to people. So in the offline world, let's say refers to flow of people. Let's say you go to a shopping mall and we say, wow, there's like heavy traffic inside the shopping mall. It means that there's heavy flow of people. But obviously, we're talking about online right now. So online simply means the visitors to your store. So obviously, when we talk about e-commerce, we talk about online traffic generation techniques. All the techniques that we talk about, these are all online techniques. And once again, why do we talk about online techniques, right? Because I believe a lot of you might know this, and that is these days, offline retail is suffering like crazy and is dying. It's just a sad truth. It is dying. And check this out. Okay, so this graph shows you that the death of brick and mortar retail. Now, even before COVID-19, it was already suffering and on the decline. Now, with COVID-19, how many of you understand that retail is really suffering and dying? If you have read the news, you know that it's happening. Just type in yes inside the chat box right now. Okay, just type in yes inside the chat box. Exactly. In fact, this article shows you, it says here, JCPenney, a 118-year-old departmental store, files for bankruptcy, and the chain has more than 800 stores and over 85,000 employees. And when I share this, now, I'm not sharing this, to gloat, and share this with a very heavy heart, because we do have a lot of business owner friends as well who run like brick and mortar stores. But the truth is, nothing can take these statistics away. But the more important thing that you really need to understand is you just write this down, okay? You can't run the business of today. Okay, you can't run the business of today with the strategies of yesterday. Okay, you cannot run the business of today with the strategies of yesterday. Now, if you happen to run your own business, or if you're thinking of starting a business and all you're thinking of is relying on offline traffic, and let's just say it's not working for you, but yet you have zero idea how to get traffic and get customers online, now here's the cold hard truth. You're just a ticking time bomb waiting to explode, because these days everyone is starting to shift online, but yet if you're not going there to get your customers, you're going to get into trouble very, very soon. It is just a sad cold hard truth, right? Now, in fact, just check out this survey done. Now, this survey was done with like more than like few thousand survey respondents worldwide, And check this out. Over here it says here, 20% of the people surveyed says that they shop in the car. Hopefully they're not driving when they're shopping in the car. And then 23% of them says that they shop in the office. Now, in fact, how many of you here, you actually shop or you have ever shopped in the office before? Just type in yes inside the chat box right now. Okay, a lot of yeses right now. Okay, you better hope that your boss is not watching this right now. Okay. Of course, now with all these lockdowns and work from home, I think more and more people will be shopping in their office because their office is like their home, right? Now, but check this out. Over here it says here, 43% shop in bed. 43% shop in bed. This is really funny, okay? I believe a lot of us here are guilty about it. And that's the reason why birth rates are dropping in a lot of countries, especially in Singapore, okay? And then this is the funniest thing. 20% of the people says that they shop in the bathroom. The toilet, ew. Hopefully they remember to wash their hands. Okay, but more importantly, this just shows you that these days all we need is a mobile phone and we can start shopping online. And the truth is consumers are starting to shift their spending online. And because of this, more importantly from a seller point of view, how does this concern us? The main thing is it's very important that we know how to get customers and get traffic online, because that's where people are going to right now to find the things that they need or want. So right now, let me share with you very, very quickly, what are the different ways that you can use to generate traffic, get customers online. So we're talking about platforms like Google, Bing, Yahoo, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, the search engines, Pinterest, all these different popular websites. Now, one of our businesses is actually a digital marketing agency. So which means to say, businesses actually pay us thousands and thousands of dollars every single month for us to utilize these platforms to drive traffic to their businesses. Okay, so what I'm going to share with you in just a while, it's not just based on my opinion or based on theory, it's literally based on tons and tons of real life case studies, statistics, and experience. Okay, so the thing that you need to understand is different traffic platforms, different channels, they are effective for different industries, different purposes. Okay, so just make a guess right now. For e-commerce specifically, which is the one platform that has generated, it's the most effective in generating results? Just make a guess which platform is the most effective that you need to utilize if you want to drive traffic and get customers to your e-commerce store. Okay, a lot of you here have mentioned Facebook, there's YouTube, there's search engines, there's Google, and okay, before I review the answer, let me just take a sip of water. Just hang on. The answer is actually Facebook. Okay, a lot of you have gotten it right. It's actually Facebook. And once again, like I mentioned, I mean, the reason why, what I think, my opinion doesn't matter, but here's my guess. Once again, why I share with you why is the most effective means this has been the platform that's gotten the best results for us and also for clients, for e-commerce specifically. And here are some reasons why I think that's the case. Now, first of all, it's very, very affordable as compared to a lot of these different platforms. Now, in fact, if you compare this with the past, now in the past, the only way you can reach out and advertise in the past, like 10, 20 years ago, is to make use of platforms like newspapers, like TV, radio, billboards, and it was very costly to advertise. And more importantly, you can only reach out to a local audience back then. But today, with Facebook advertising, you can reach out to a global audience. And right now, just type inside the chat box. There's one word called global. Just type in global. Exactly. And in fact, you can get started with a much more affordable rate. The good thing, believe it or not, right now advertising cost is at its all-time low because demand is very, very high, but competition is at its all-time low. Now, the next big benefit of Facebook advertising is it can be very, very targeted. So this means to say you can target specific demographics and interests, only very, very targeted people that will only see your ads or your products. Okay, there's a big benefit to it. In fact, let me share with you an example. So let me share with you an example. So for example, let's say today you're thinking of selling this travel aeroplane necklace. So it's a necklace that is shipped in the shape of an aeroplane, right? Now, so imagine if you're thinking of selling this product. Now, oh, by the way, for those of you who are or gentlemen in the room, please only focus on the necklace. Okay, do not focus on anywhere else. I know this necklace is not placed on a very strategic position. Okay, just focus on the necklace. Now, so the thing is, think about this. If today you're thinking of selling this product, right now I just want you to think through and type inside the chat box which group of people in terms of the gender, the age group, and also what are their interests. Which are the group of people that you think are most likely going to buy this product? Okay, what gender, what age group, and also what are the interests that they might have. Okay, just inside the chat box right now. Okay, go on, come on. Okay, so you mentioned ladies who travel. Feel free to type down here, ladies 20 to 30, for example, 20 to 40s, females. Okay, so exactly. So whichever demographics or interests that you're thinking of targeting, the good news is Facebook advertising. It allows you to only show your ads and products to people that you have specified. So let me give you an example. Okay, now check this out. So when you want to advertise on Facebook, the first thing that you need to specify is the location. Right now, just type inside the chat box this one word called location. Just type in location. Exactly. Location. Thank you so much. Okay, yes, exactly. So what I mean by this means to say you can actually specify whichever country that you want to sell to. Any country in the world except for China. Because why? Because Facebook is banned in China. Okay. So obviously, which means to say you don't just target your own country, you can sell to a global audience. Okay. Next thing is the age group. For example, over here it says 22 to 45, and then the gender, women. So when you specify, configure it this way, this means to say only people who are in the United States of America, only people who are aged 22 to 45, and only females will see your ads. Now the next thing that you need to specify is the interest. Okay, just type in interest inside the chat box. Okay, just type in interest inside the chat box. Just type in interest. So what I mean by this means to say you can specify what kind of interest these people should have in order for them to see your ad. So in this case, for this product specifically, naturally you want to type in the travel related interest. So there's many different techniques that you can use in order to find the most relevant interest, which we share more during our 3 days e-commerce workshop. Now, obviously, so the next thing that you need to do is you need to find an image. We call it the creative ad creative. Then you need to type out the words, call it the ad copy, what persuasive words to use. Now, in our 3 days workshop, we teach you step by step how to do this, how to find relevant interest to target, how to craft your ads in your workshop so they can launch itself to a global audience. But more importantly, this means to say, you right now, wherever you are, whichever country you are at, you can literally see a product that you're thinking of selling, that you want to sell. You can add it to your store once you know how to do it, and you can launch ads to target any part of the world in literally under 15 minutes or so. That's the beauty of this. Okay, and once again, using this platform called Facebook, you can actually sell to global audience. And when I say global, you can see that I'm not kidding here. This is just from one of our e-commerce stores. As you can see, from this e-commerce store, we generated over $1 million in sales. And this chart shows you the breakdown of the top 10 countries in terms of the amount of sales. As you can see, United States alone generated over $750,000 is the bulk of the sales, right? In fact, just scroll down, and do you see Singapore inside the top 10 list? Yes or no? The answer is no. In fact, do you see Malaysia? Do you see Philippines? Do you see Hong Kong? The answer is no. So what's the reason why? Okay, I'm speaking more for Singapore actually, right? The reason is because Singapore's population is very small. It's like one tiny red dot. But the United States of America, make a guess, what is the USA's population? Don't Google, okay? Come on, don't Google. Just make a guess, okay? Just make it fun. What is the USA's population? Just make a guess. Type inside the chat box right now. What is USA's population? Okay, 300 million, 200 million, 500 million, 100 million, 1 billion. No, not that much. Okay, the answer is around 300 million people. That's so much more as compared to Singapore. And the purchasing power is much higher. But the more important thing to understand is, do not just think of selling to your local audience. Wherever you are, stop thinking about selling to your local audience. Okay, start think global. Type inside the chat box, think global, because globally, your audience is a few billion, with a B, few billion people. Think about this, with a few billion people, all you need is just 3 sales a day from a few billion people. And just say you just sell a $50 product, that's over $4,500 a month already. Imagine if you make 5 sales a day, make 10 sales a day. So you need to start thinking globally. In fact, there's one more big reason why you want to think global. The best part is you can actually make money while you sleep. So just check out from this screenshot from one of our e-commerce stores. Now you can see that sales were coming in at 12 plus a.m., 1 plus a.m., 2 plus a.m., 3 plus a.m., 4 plus a.m., 5 plus a.m., 6 plus a.m. even, all the way up to 6 plus a.m., 7 plus a.m. So why I'm sharing this with you is because with an e-commerce store that can reach out to anyone, anywhere in the world, you can generate income even while you are sleeping. Now, a lot of times when we share this, people get a bit like defensive and say, oh, come on, Kelvin, come on, stop over-exaggerating. How on earth can you make money while you sleep? That's too good to be true. But think from a very logical standpoint. Now, why is it possible to make money while you're sleeping in Asia? Why? Right? Yes, the reason is because while you're sleeping, first of all, your e-commerce store never sleeps, right? But more importantly, while you're sleeping, which part of the world, which countries are actually awake? Which countries are actually awake? Exactly. The Western countries like US, UK, Europe, Canada, all those different countries. In fact, how many of you here, you love to make money while you're sleeping? If that's you, just type in sleep inside the chat box. Just type in sleep. Okay, hopefully this doesn't make you feel like going to sleep. Okay, relax. Okay, hang on. Okay, don't get overly excited. Okay, because it's still early, you still have a lot of things to cover, right? But more importantly, yes, it is very important to be able to make money while you sleep. Okay, in fact, by selling to a global audience and using the same 5-step system, as you can see over here, one of our e-commerce stores, it generated over 1.2 million US dollars in just a short period of time. Now, I can tell you for a fact that this is only possible because of the fact that we are selling to a global audience. Now, if I'm just selling to a small, local Singaporean population audience, this is going to be very, very tough. But once you really start selling to a global audience, you know that this is definitely a lot more possible. Okay, and also, see, the thing is, why do you want to sell to a global audience? It's because it allows you to generate passive income. The truth is, everyone talks about passive income. What is passive income? Passive income is the ability to generate income while you're not working actively. But the truth is, think about this. How do you really get passive income? Is when you're able to make money globally and you're not restricted by time zones or physical limitations. And with an e-commerce business, you can truly make money 24/7, 365 days a year. And the truth is, if you want to have more time, it's really important to have passive income. But the truth is, how many of you here, you want to have passive income? Just type in me inside the chat box. Just type in me. Exactly. You just type in me inside the chat box. Okay? Yes, most of you are typing me. A lot of you are getting very excited. But the sad truth is, for most people, instead of having passive income, or instead of having more time for themselves, most of the time, a lot of people actually find themselves working harder and harder every single year, but their income actually doesn't increase as fast. In fact, how many of you here, you find yourself working harder and harder each year, but your income is not increasing as fast? If that's you, just type in me inside the chat box as well. Just type in me inside the chat box. Okay, exactly. So the more important question that you really want to ask yourself, especially in difficult times like this, is, now, how many more years do you want to, or do you intend to continue like this? And more importantly, what's your backup plan if today, if you were to lose your job, or if you were to lose your only source of income? That's a more important question that you truly need to actually ask yourself. Now, in fact, right now, let me share with you a case study from one of our students. Now, her name is Ruth. Now, Ruth, she used to work full-time in a tuition center. Again, in Singapore, tuition is a very, very big thing. But what happens is Ruth signed up for a program because she wanted to have a backup plan. And eventually she recorded this short little video. I'm going to share this with you and hope it inspires you, right? So just check this video out.
So hi everyone, my name is Ruth. So I'm 35 years old this year and I actually work in the education industry. So after 5 weeks of joining the 3-day e-com workshop, I've actually successfully earned $6,111 US. If you happy? I was definitely very, very, very happy, and also actually personally I was actually very shocked and very, very surprised at the results. And I actually don't think that I could have achieved these results if I had not gone for the 3-day workshop. So personally,
okay, so in fact, Ruth subsequently actually recorded an update video for us. Let me just play this very, very short video. Once again, I hope it inspires you.
Hi everyone, just want to give a quick update that after 3 months of attending the e-commerce workshop, I actually crossed $30,000 for my store. So I'm super, super duper happy. You know what? In fact, I was doing so well that my supplier actually asked me whether I could actually teach her, how to actually do this. So highly recommend, that if you want to pick up, drop shipping, e-commerce, highly recommend that you guys actually should just go for the e-commerce workshop.
Wow, how many of you here found this case study inspiring? Just type in yes inside the chat box right now. Just type in yes inside the chat box. Okay, so thank you. Now the thing is, back then, when actually Ruth first enrolled in our program, I actually asked her, hey Ruth, you're a center director in a tuition center, you actually paid pretty decently. So why do you choose to want to even start an e-commerce business? And this is one thing that she said, which really I still remember. And she said that she always believed in having this thing called a backup plan in case something happens one day. And true enough, something did really happen to the tuition industry in Singapore. What happened was the education ministry actually took away the mid-year exams, and as a result, less people were sending their kids to tuition, and the entire tuition industry took a big hit. Her income took a big hit. But the thing is, because of the fact that she had a backup plan, she already had this e-commerce store that was running and successful. She was able to just quit her job just like that because of the fact that she had a backup plan. So that's the importance of it, because how many of you here actually have a backup plan and can do so just like her? The truth is most people don't. So right now, I just want you to type inside the chat box this tool. It's called backup plan. Okay, that's the main important thing. Just type in backup plan. Okay, that's the reason why this is so important. All right, backup plan, backup plan, backup plan. All right, so that's it. Right now, let's move on to step number 4, fulfill orders. So what I mean by this, so this means to say, once you start to drive traffic to your store, once you start to generate orders, the next very important thing that you need to know and you need to do is you need to start to ensure that your customers actually receive the products that they just ordered from you. So this is why it's known as fulfill orders. In fact, right now, just type inside the chat box this one word called fulfill. This is very, very important, okay? So apart from knowing how to drive traffic, get customers, next thing is you need to know how to fulfill your orders. Now, so think about this. As mentioned, the traditional model, the traditional way for you to do e-commerce, for you to fulfill these orders is very straightforward. You fork out a huge amount of money to buy this inventory, you stock it somewhere, and then when someone orders, then you have to kind of like arrange for it to ship it out, right? So which means to say, this model is very, very risky because you have to fork out a huge amount of capital, you have to hold a lot of inventory, there's a lot more costs involved. And when, let's say you don't sell a single product, or if you don't manage to sell off all the stock, you actually incur losses. Okay, that's very, very risky. Okay, so which is why, once again, as I mentioned, when you sell things, even when you sell things in the marketplace, that's what you need to go through, where you need to fork out a huge amount of capital and you need to stock inventory. It's very, very costly and risky. That's the reason why, once again, we do not recommend that you sell things on the marketplace, especially if you're a complete beginner. Now, instead, let me share with you how then can you fulfill orders without having to fork out a huge amount of capital to buy inventory, without having you to stock them in a warehouse and deal with all the logistics In fact, if you would love to learn this business model, just type in yes inside the chat box right now. Just type in yes, 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 yes. Okay. Now, I just want to share with you how does this fulfillment model work. Now, bear in mind, this is not a brand new way to fulfill orders. This model has been around for donkey years. We've been doing this for the past several years already, and this model is known as drop shipping. Okay, it's known as drop shipping. In fact, right now, just type inside the chat box this one word called drop shipping. Okay, just type in drop shipping inside the chat box right now. Okay, exactly. Drop shipping, drop shipping, drop shipping, drop shipping. Okay, great. So what I mean by this, so how does this work? So this means to say, just check this out, right? So what happens is, instead of you forking out a huge amount of capital to buy inventory, this time around, you immediately send your customer to your online store. And what happens is, at this point in time, you don't even need to own inventory of the product. What happens is the customer will buy the product from you, pay you the retail price, and then what happens is once you collect the money up front, you will forward the order to your supplier. Right now, everyone just type in supplier inside your chat box right now. Okay, just type in supplier inside the chat box right now. Okay, great. Just be supplier. Exactly, supplier. And what happens is, once your supplier receives the order, they will then ship the product directly to your customer. They will ship out the product directly to your customer. So this means to say, because of the fact that your supplier ships directly to your customer, regardless of where they are in the world, there's no need for you to hold inventory. There's no need for you to do any fulfillment or packing yourself. And the best part about it is you collect the money first upfront before you pay the supplier. This means to say, now, even if you don't generate a single sale, you don't raise any money upfront. You don't have to fork out a huge amount of capital. And this is very important because in business, cash is king. Okay, cash is king. Just type inside the chat box these 3 words called cash is king. Cash is king. Cash is king. Cash is king. And ask any business owner to tell you how important cash flow is. Cash is really king. Okay, so as compared to selling things on the marketplace where before you even generate a sale, you're already losing a lot of money upfront, using this dropshipping model, selling things on your own store is so much more effective and so much more feasible. Now, with that said, let me show you an example. So earlier on, as we mentioned, you can make use of Google Trends. This is one of the ways that you can use to research products. So right now, I just type in, as you can see in this image over here, is this for this product called a storm glass. Okay, for storm glass. So I'm going to share with you how the product looks like. But check this out. Now over here, you can see that for this particular product, once again, interest for this specific product is spikes. Okay, usually in the months of October, it goes up in November, peaks in December, then maybe it might go down a little bit. All right. So once again, if you're a smart entrepreneur relying on data, statistics to make decisions, you want to spend most of your efforts in the months of October, November, and December if you want to sell this product, right? So how can you make use of the drop shipping fulfillment model to fulfill orders? So check this out, right? So once again, this is how it works. So let's say you send a customer to purchase the item directly from store and they pay you the retail price. So let's say it's $29.75 in US dollars, for example. And then what happens is, as mentioned, you need to forward the order to a supplier. So in this case, you're able to find a supplier and you're able to pay the supplier's pricing at just $1.21 US dollar. So this means to say your margins are huge. Okay, your margins are great. Your margins are huge. All right. So what happens is once a supplier receives the order, they will then send the product directly to your customer. They ship it out on your behalf, regardless of where your customer is. Okay, so as you can see, from just this one product alone, we generated over 400,000 US dollars just from selling this one item. Once again, I mean, we think that's pretty cool. That's pretty awesome. Just type in cool inside the chat box right now. Okay, just type in cool inside the chat box. Okay, so once again, this is only possible because of the fact that we have the right product research techniques, and we know, more importantly, we know how to generate traffic to our store. And bear in mind, this is just for one product. Okay, once you understand how to research products, you'll be able to find multiples of such products. Okay, so the next thing is, once you're able to find a product like this, obviously you don't want to stop there. The next thing that you want to do is you want to move on to step number 5, which is to rinse and repeat, which is a very, very important step, which is rinse and repeat. So right now, just type in this one word called repeat inside the chat box. Okay, just type in repeat inside the chat box. Repeat, 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 repeat. Repeat what? Okay. This is a more important thing, right? So think about this. If you can find one product like this, obviously you want to repeat the whole system. So what does this mean? First of all, think about this. Now, how many sales do you actually need to actually kickstart your entire e-commerce success? Okay, a lot of times people will say, oh, you know what? I need to see like hundreds or thousands of sales before I think that this thing work, before I deem it as success. But the truth is, you just need to generate your first sale. Okay, just type in first sale inside the chat box right now. It all starts with generating your first sale. Every single successful seller, they start off by generating their first sale. Because why is your first sale so important? Is because once you generate your first sale, it tells you that what? It proves to you that the system works. Okay, so which means to say, in order for you to replicate the results, you just need to rinse and repeat the whole system. Because the moment you generate your first sale, it means that you
Ang ganda ng kilay, in fairness. Ilong lang talaga ang hindi nagbagay.
you just need to rinse and repeat the whole system, okay? And you just need to actually scale up. Okay, some of you mentioned that, my connection seems to be lost. Right now, can you hear me? If you can hear me fine right now, just type in 1 inside the chat box. Okay, great. Just type in 1. Okay, great job. Okay, so thanks for the heads up. Great to see that all of you are still attentive. Okay, so once again, like I mentioned, the moment you're able to generate your first sale, the next thing in order for you to scale is you just need to rinse and repeat the whole system. So this means to say, you want to rinse and repeat, you want to generate more traffic to sell to more people, you want to sell to more countries, and what happens is you want to actually be able to actually find more products to sell as well. This is what I mean by rinsing and repeat. Okay, so this means to say you need to understand what are the different techniques for you to actually scale up your business. Okay, so once again, using the same scaling techniques that you're going to learn in our 3 days workshop, we're able to get consistent daily sales like this. This one shows you generate over $13,000 in just 1 day. This one over $14,000 in just 1 day, $13,000. This one over $19,000 in just 1 day. But once again, this is only possible because we have a proven system that we're able to rinse and repeat. Now, bear in mind, once again, do take note. All right, so it doesn't mean that immediately you're going to wake up overnight and you're going to see results like this. Bear in mind, this took us, a long time for us to perfect the system until we're able to rinse and repeat. Okay, so, but more importantly, maybe let's say if you're just a complete beginner. But the thing is, let's just say even if you're a complete beginner, some of you might be thinking you're new, you're not able to get results like this so fast. Of course, everything takes time. But just imagine this. Let's say you're a complete beginner and all you did was just 3 sales per day, selling to a global audience. And let's just say your average price point is only $50, for example. And let's say per day you make $150, for example. What happens is per month, that is an additional $4,500 in sales, and per year there's an additional $54,000 just from making 3 sales a day. Now, in fact, how many of you here wouldn't mind this for a start? At least for a start. How many of you wouldn't mind this for a start? Just type in yes inside the chat box. Okay? Just type in yes in the chat box. Yes, exactly. And then once again, like I mentioned, over time, that's when you want to rinse and repeat the whole system, such that maybe from 3 sales a day, you could be doing 5 sales a day, 10 sales a day over time, and you slowly increase it over time gradually. Okay. Now, in fact, one of our students over here, his name is Ken. Now, Ken is from Singapore, and he works full time as an engineer. Okay. And what happens is Ken, just by doing this part time, he managed to generate over 100 sales in the month of November. And guess what? Like I mentioned, what did he do? Okay, is my connection fine? Once again, hopefully my connection is fine. If my connection is fine, some of you are mentioning that my connection is fine. It's not fine. If you can hear me loud and clear, just type in 1. Okay, that's the, all of you get it. Okay, 1. Okay, awesome. Let's move on. Now, so obviously once he's able to generate 100 sales in November, what did he do? He rinse and repeat. Okay, and what happens is subsequently he says here, he went on to generate 688 sales in 4 months, and what happens, he continued to rinse and repeat and scale up this system, and 6 months later he crossed his 1,000 order and now generates an additional 23,000 US dollars per month while still working full-time in a full-time job. How many of you here, you right now you're also thinking of just doing this part-time? If that is you, just type in me inside the chat box right now. Just type in me inside the chat box. So that's the beauty of an e-commerce business, because it allows you to do it part-time. That's exactly how we got started as well as a student as well. So more importantly, the reason why I'm sharing this with you is because the more important tip that you need to understand is this winning formula for success in any business. Now, first of all, you need a system. Okay, a proven system plus repetition. Okay, so you first need to have a proven system plus with repetition, it gives you success. Okay, so just write this down. System plus repetition equals success. Okay, system, first need to have a proven system. And then once you have a proven system, you just need to keep repeating the proven system. That's how you receive consistent success. Okay, exactly. Consistent success. Okay, great. Exactly. Awesome. So more importantly now, here's the thing. Now we could spend like time talking about all these different income goals for yourself, but here's the most important question that I really want you to ask yourself, and that is the more important question that you need to ask yourself, and that is why? The question is why? Why are you doing this? See, we can talk about all these different goals, all these dreams, but the more important question is why are you doing this? Why are you wanting to learn this? Because here's the truth. Now, you can learn about all these different techniques, digital marketing, e-commerce techniques to be able to generate income online, but all this will be useless until you can really clearly answer this question. And that's really the most important question, and that is, what is your why? Because if you are not clear on your why, the how and the what doesn't matter, because mark my words, you will find all sorts of excuses, all sorts of reasons why this cannot work for you, and you will never ever have the drive and motivation to make things happen. So right now, when you type inside the chat box, why do you want to learn how to start an e-commerce business? Why do you want to learn how to make money online? Is it because your family? Is it because of your kids? Because of more time, to get more freedom? Is it for retirement? So whatever your reasons are, I just want you to really think through it and just type inside the chat box right now. I'm going to share with you why this is so important and why this activity actually changed my life. Okay? It's mentioned to you. Okay, thank you so much. A lot of you are sharing very, very personal reasons. I really, really appreciate it. A lot of you mentioned financial freedom, retirement, passive income, having resources to help other people. Okay, thank you so much. So why am I sharing this with you? The reason is because right now, let me just take 1 minute to share my own personal reasons. Now, back then when I first started, it was in the year 2007, like I mentioned. It was 13 years ago. Back then, obviously, it was much younger. And let me just tell you this. Back then, my motivation, my why was just for very, very shallow reasons, right? So my motivation was just so that I can make more money, have more time and freedom to do the things I truly enjoy. And one of the things I truly enjoy is traveling. And truth be told, Patricia and I really travel a lot in our younger years. So we've been to the US like 5 times, been to Europe a few times, been to Maldives like a few times, been to several parts of Asia. And just to spend a few years, been to so many different countries. We're traveling like once every 2 months or so. And we really travel in style. But here's the honest truth. Over the years, my why, my motivation, it has changed completely. Now these days, traveling or like expensive cars, big houses, all these things, it doesn't matter to me at all. Because ultimately right now, there's only one big motivation in my life, and every single thing that I do is just for this one very, very simple reason, and it's my family. And every single minute, I'm just thinking about how can I add more value to this world so that I can be the best role model to my kids. And also in return, how can I make the most money so that I can provide the best, very best for my family, and I can have more time to spend with my family. That's just my big motivation. Now, thank you so much. Okay, thank you so much for all of your kind words. Now, whatever your motivation is, you need to be very, very clear, because this is my motivation. Your motivation could be very, very different, but you need to be very, very clear about your why, because I want you to really remember it by heart every single day. Because looking back on my 13 years of entrepreneurial journey so far, it has really taught me one even bigger learning lesson, which I really want you to take away. If you don't learn anything today, it doesn't matter, but just remember this one thing. I'm going to share and end and close with this very, very quick personal story of mine. It's going to take 2 minutes to share with you. Now, here's the thing. In the year 2000, this was end year 2007 or start of 2008. I can't really recall when was that. But back then, we were still in university, Patricia and I. And what happened was we were interviewed by this local newspaper called the My Paper. Now, it's in Mandarin. Don't ask me why. I'm going to translate later on. It's not because my Mandarin is very fluent, okay? But back then, what happened was we were featured on the front page of this local newspaper. Okay, so back then, it was like 13 years ago, and back then we were just students. We were only making a few $1,000s a month. And so we weren't making millions of dollars, but the reason why we got featured is because we were just making a few $1,000s a month, but we were students, and that was 13 years ago, so it's quite a novelty. But I'm going to read this to you, okay? So I'm going to share with you the learning lesson behind it. Now, over here from the headline, you can see here, it says here, 进军 affiliate marketing. 大学情侣网上捞金. For those of you who understand Mandarin, this actually means we got started with affiliate marketing, and a university couple found a gold mine online. But I'll read you the next part. So during back then, the journalists asked us, hey, Kelvin and Patricia, right now you're just students, but what's your goal, what's your dream when you graduate? Okay, so what's your dream? So over here it says here, 目标每月赚 50K. So which means to say, we actually told the journalists, you know what? Our goal, our target after we graduate is to make $50,000 per month, every month. Okay, so now, back then, as mentioned, we're just students. Do we have any idea how were we going to achieve the target? Answer is no. Hey, but this is our dream, right? I mean, what is there to stop us from dreaming big? But here's the next question. I want you to make a guess. When this newspaper feature got published, I want you to make a guess. How did most people around us, how did they react? And what was their reaction? What are some of the things that they told us? And remember, back then, we're just university students. Most of our friends were university students. Just type inside the chat box. Okay, right now, I just want you to type in chat box. Don't worry about humiliating me, embarrassing me. It's actually fine. We're used to that, right? When you want to dream big, you have to get used to that. Okay, so a lot of them doubt you. Unbelievable reaction. Come on, just type in. Doesn't matter. They probably think it's fake. They're daydreaming. They tell you that it's impossible. They doubted you. They laugh at you. Wow, all of you are equally skeptical. Huh? Okay, hopefully not, right? Maybe you're just trying to humiliate my friends, right? Okay. Now, as you can see, a lot of these reactions over here are all very, very negative, very skeptical. And guess what? That is the cold hard truth, because almost every single one of our friends, they came up to us back then 13 years ago. They came up to us and said, Kelvin and Patricia, oh my goodness, are you kidding me? You are a joke. You are a laughing stock. I mean, like, seriously, who do you think you are? $50,000 a month? You're just a university student. Stop dreaming. Do you really think you have what it takes to become successful, like all those successful entrepreneurs out there? Stop dreaming. Just continue studying and focus on getting a good job after you graduate. You're embarrassing yourself. You're embarrassing your family. Here's the thing. Everybody was skeptical. They were laughing at us. But here's the thing. Thank goodness we didn't listen to this wonderful advice of all these wonderful friends, because check this out. This time round, we were featured on the front page of the Straits Times in Singapore. Now, this is the main national newspaper of Singapore. Everyone who reads, understands English, read this newspaper. But this time round, this was last year, we were featured on the front page of Straits Times. And what happened was our national newspaper body, it partnered a market research statistics company, and we were ranked as one of Singapore's fastest growing firms in the entire Singapore, where there's out 200,000+ small businesses. And as mentioned to you, 10 years later, we have now generated over $30 million Singapore dollars in revenue through our company. And these are real statistics, okay? Statistics don't lie. So here's the thing. How many of you here think that is pretty cool? If you think that's pretty cool, just type in cool inside the chat box right now. Now, this time around is very, very different, because when you get featured on the front page of your main national newspaper, everybody was congratulating us. Even those people who used to laugh at us, they were congratulating us and told us, oh, you know what, Kevin, Patricia, I always believe in you. I always knew that you have what it takes to be successful. So you notice that when you become successful, you suddenly go from that dreaming idiot to suddenly become a genius. But here's a more important learning. Oh, by the way, if you think this is cool, the cooler thing to me is, it says, because the cooler thing to me is we were placed on top of the Kim Jong-un and Donald Trump summit. Okay, as you can see on the front page. But anyway, why am I sharing these views? Because through my entire 13 years of entrepreneurial journey, we met all sorts of people in my entire life. It's taught me two very important learning lessons. Now, the first learning lesson that I really want you to understand today is, mark my words, whenever you have a big dream, whenever you dare to step out of your comfort zones, whenever you dare to do things that is different from the norm, mark my words, the people around you, chances are, they're going to be very, very skeptical. They're going to laugh at you in your face. They're going to be point fingers at you, and they will tell you to stop dreaming. But the thing is, you should never ever allow the negative people around you, who has never even achieved what you want to achieve, to rob you of your dreams. And you have to be very, very selective about who you choose to take advice from. You have to be very, very selective of who you choose to take advice from. This is the first big learning lesson that you need to understand. The second learning lesson is, if you truly want to have a big dream, you truly want to make more money, more time and freedom for yourself, you must dare to dream big. Not only must you ignore these negative naysayers, you must dare to dream big right now and not wait until things get better. And you need to dare to aim higher. In fact, right now, just type in the two words called aim higher. Just type in aim higher inside the chat box right now. Aim higher, aim higher, aim higher. Now, what does it mean to aim higher? It means like this. Okay, this small little boy, small little boy knows how to aim higher. Okay, anyway, with that said, this actually marks the quick overview of a 5-step system. Now, first of all, if you found the presentation useful so far, just let me know by typing in useful inside the chat box right now. If you found the presentation useful so far, just type in useful inside the chat box right now. Because for those of you who have stayed to the end, right now I actually have a special opportunity for you, and it's only for those of you who have stayed on to the end. So just listen up carefully. Now, in just a while, I'm going to share with you, I just want to take the next 10 minutes or so to share with you more about our Ecom Mastery program with you. Now, this is a special package that we made just for you in view of the COVID-19 situation, so you can take advantage of this rising boom in e-commerce and get started making money online with your own e-commerce store. In fact, if you are actually excited to know how can you get started, just type in yes inside the chat box right now. Okay, just type in yes inside the chat box. Great, thank you so much. Now, let me move on. Now, as mentioned to you, we do have a criteria. We don't want to work with everyone, and we only have a few selected slots available. Let me share with you, first of all, who is this not for? This is very, very important. Who is this not for? Now, first of all, this is not for you if you are lazy and uncommitted. So this means to say, if you're not willing to do anything and you think that by not doing anything you can make a lot of money overnight, this is not for you. Number two is, this is very important, if you have unrealistic goals and fantasies, now don't get me wrong, it's very important to dream big, but let's say you're thinking that, oh, you know what, you don't need to do anything, next week you're going to make $1 million, or let's say if you're very stubborn and uncoachable, if you're you're not willing to listen and you're not able to follow instructions and you just want to insist on doing things your own way, this is not for you. And finally, this is the most important criteria. Listen up carefully. If you are a very, very negative and skeptical person, if up to now you're still very, very skeptical, this is really not for you. And that's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But this is really not for you because there's one thing I learned in life is too short to hang around negative people. So we only want to hang around positive people. And more importantly, we really want to keep our environment positive and empowering for students. In fact, how many of you here would love to be able to learn in a positive environment? Just type in yes inside the chat box right now. Just type in yes inside the chat box right now. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, now with that said, let me move on to who is this for. Now, first of all, this is for you if you are a complete beginner. In fact, how many of you here you have almost zero experience when it comes to e-commerce? If how many of you are a complete beginner when it comes to e-commerce, just type in me inside the chat box right now. Just type in me inside the chat box right now. Okay, great. There's a lot of you here. So this is perfect for you if you're a complete beginner who is unsure on how to get started and you just want to have a proven mentor to show you the step-by-step process to having a profitable online business. Second group of people, this is for you if, let's say, you have some past experience, maybe you have tried e-commerce before, but you're not really seeing the results that you hope for, but you don't know what you're doing wrong, this is also perfect for you. And last but not least, this is simply for anyone who's keen and open. Okay, so let's say you're just looking for more ways to create more time and freedom for yourself. Maybe you could even be a brick and mortar business owner who's looking to pivot and create an additional source of income, or you just want to learn how to use, maybe you just want to learn how to use digital marketing to grow your business. This will also be perfect for you. Okay, as long as you're open, this is perfect for you. Now, let me share with you right now exactly what you're going to receive when you enroll today for a special e-com mastery workshop COVID-19 special. Now, this program is headed by myself, by my wife Patricia, and also my co-trainer. His name is Max Cole. First component, you get to attend our 3 days online e-commerce workshop. This is great news because normally we conduct this offline, but as you know now, due to all these travel restrictions, we can't do that, and we don't know when these travel restrictions are going to be lifted. But yet, we want you to be able to profit from this e-commerce boom. So we're going to do this online, regardless of which country you are at right now. You can join us. In fact, right now, just type in online inside the chat box, just type in online. So the good thing about it being conducted online is you get to follow along as we walk you through step by step how to set out your own profitable e-commerce store. You can even see our screen, where we are clicking close up. In fact, it's a lot more efficient, okay? As you can just click and just follow along. All right, so right now, just check these dates down. In fact, I want to write the upcoming dates down. As you can see, usually it takes place on a Friday evening, 7 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. and then it takes place on a Saturday and Sunday. So it's on a weekend, Saturday